YouTube, how's it going? So I'm going to keep the intro short today. There's been a lot of growth on the channel recently. I would like to keep that growth going, so in the unlikely event you do find yourself enjoying the video, a like would be great. I heard that it helps with the algorithm. Even if it doesn't, it helps with my crippling self-esteem. Anyway, thanks to all these guys for the suggestion. Load up Dead Space. Start a new game. Welcome to a really blurry screen. For some reason, I was expecting a higher screen resolution from humans capable of space travel. You're Isaac Clarke, an engineer responding to the Ishimura mining ship that's in a state of distress near the planet Aegis 7 with your crew Hammond, Daniels, Chen, and Johnston. I hope you don't get attached to those last two. When you get to the ship, you notice all its lights are off and the radio is producing a strange gargly sound. This place basically has all the signs of everyone being dead, but of course that's not it. Their comms must just be broken. As you're docking your ship, Johnston is like, oh no, there's a tether malfunction. To me, it looks more like an everything malfunction. Anyway, yeah, your ship crashes into the Ishimura. Probably not the kind of help they wanted when they sent out that distress call. The crash unfortunately broke Johnston's leg, so she stays behind while the rest of you go outside to assess the damage and find some people because you just crashed your ship into this place and not a single person has come out to investigate what the fuck just happened. Unfortunately, you can't seem to find anyone, meaning something serious must have happened here. So Hammond asks you to check the damage report to try and figure out what's going on. Yes, it looks like there's serious damage here, Hammond. Some serious damage indeed. Suddenly your crew is attacked by these weird squishy mantis people and Chen gets killed. I'm gonna miss him. I really enjoyed his 3 lines of dialogue. You get separated from Hammond and Daniels and run down a corridor, avoiding the squishy mantises into the safety of a lift. The mantis people are actually called necromorphs and are mutated human corpses specifically designed to look as unsettling and horrific as possible. Even worse, shooting their heads off affects them about as much as slapping them with a wet cloth would, and the only way to stop them from moving permanently is to remove their limbs. Now if only you could find something good at cutting limbs off. Oh, a plasma cutter. Yeah, I should probably mention your girlfriend Nicole is on this ship somewhere. She was the woman on that video at the start. Safe to say she's probably fucking dead, but don't cry, you never know. You find Hammond and Daniels on the other side of a tram line. They manage to get away and suggest going to the bridge to find survivors, but you guys are separated by a lockdown and the tram line to the bridge is blocked, so guess who gets to fix it? It's you! You just need to find a data board and replace the broken tram car to get the whole thing working. Fairly simple tasks made unnecessarily more complicated by the addition of squishy mantis people. On the bright side, you find a stasis module used to slow time. Not sure why that's a thing, but yeah. With the tram running, those two hop on to look for survivors while you go help Johnston try and repair the mess you left back in the hangar when you landed here. It goes well. You know, for an engineer, you're not very good at engineering. Hammond calls in to check on how the repairs are going. Yeah, they're going great. He thinks that we can take control of the Ishimura using the command computer, but needs the captain's codes to unlock it. Quick one, the personnel on the ship all have rigs, which is the robotic spinal cord you've been sporting since you got here. Fortunately, they can be tracked, and the captain's rig was last seen in medical. He's also dead, but that seems to be a running theme here, so I'm not really surprised. Also, Hammond and Daniels get attacked supposedly by Chen. What? But I thought he was dead. Anyway, medical. On the way, you find a kinesis module, so telepathy. I'm not sure how everyone died when there's superpowers just lying around on the floor. Hey, that's a cool gun. You think I could, have that? Thanks. As you get to medical, Hammond checks in. Him and Daniels got separated when Chen attacked them. In other news, the captain's rig is behind this barricaded door. You think a hydrazine tank might be able to destroy it, so let's go look around and find one. Since you've said it, there's probably one lying around here somewhere. Given that this is medical and Nicole was a doctor, you obviously find evidence of her being here. Unlike with the captain, however, where the rig tracker was like, yeah, he's fucking dead, you twat. With Nicole, it's like, oh, she could be dead, but I don't know, I don't want to spoil anything. Here's some fetus creatures instead. Fetus creatures? Who's gonna be scared of that? Ah! You find a shock pad to use as a detonator, and oh my god, a hydrazine tank? What a coincidence. Medical ends up being a pretty weird place. You find recordings of a Dr. Kine chatting to the captain. He seems to be concerned about something called a marker that's on the nearby planet causing hallucinations and shit on people working down there. With the hydrazine tank, you get past the barricade and find the captain's body, but when you're about to take his rig, he gets attacked by a kite, which turns him into a necromorph. Doesn't really stop you from getting his rig, though, and getting the codes to Hammond. But wait, the Ishimura's engines are offline, meaning you're plummeting towards the nearby planet. Oh no. You're like, I have to get to engineering. Are you sure that's a good idea? Whatever, you go to engineering. To get the engines working first, you need to fix the centrifuge. Well, that wasn't so bad. Maybe we won't have any problems here. Oh. Yeah, looks like there's something out of a hentai existing around these parts. Definitely don't need to worry about that. Let's go refuel the engines. Meanwhile, Daniels has been snooping on the ship's files. The CEC, who owns the Ishimura as well as the ship you guys came on, seems to know about this marker and decided to secretly come here to get it. Then everyone started hallucinating and ending their subscription to life, but they brought it onto the ship anyway, and it's in the hold. With the refueling of the engines done, you just manually turn them on. Not only does this have you going into a place that looks more organic than the rest of the ship, but I think the people who designed this place overlooked some safety protocol when making the engines, because I don't think having a small sun 10 feet above your your head is what you'd call safe. It doesn't really matter. Hammond can now take us into geostationary orbit, and you don't need to fix anything else. That was a lie. The asteroid defense system is offline, so you have to fix that. But first, we go to Hammond at the bridge. After looking through the files, Daniels is suspicious of Hammond because he's a CEC guy and thinks he brought us here to retrieve the marker, but he adamantly claims it's a load of bollocks. I don't know, it's kind of suspicious. Ah! I wasn't even scared. I don't know what you're talking about. Ah! Finally, you reach Hammond. Action.
Isaac, it's you.
Hammond appears to have trapped what used to be Chen inside an escape pod, and you both agree to ping him into space instead of killing him because this definitely won't be a problem later on. I don't know what you're talking about. Now it's time to discuss the asteroid defense systems.
Yes, the ADS systems are broken. Oh no, that's not good. It's not, that's true. We should fix them. You are a genius.
The ADS systems need more power to work, so you have to run around turning off stuff to direct the extra power over to it, but are interrupted by whatever the f this thing is. I don't know where they've been the entire time. It must be their turn in the storyline because they're everywhere now. Also, as you're redirecting the power, Daniel calls you up. She's like,
I was looking through some files. This is some crazy shit.
Like she doesn't have two functioning eyes. Basically, the necromorphs do the killing, so the kite morphs can make more necromorphs, and the organic wall paint is also dead stuff, and she thinks it's spreading. Finally, you get the power diverted. Then you recalibrate the ADS cannons manually, pretty much just fly out into space where it's raining big rocks, which is surprisingly not the most dangerous thing you've done today, and aim at the rocks until the cannons are like,
see, we need to shoot the big rocks.
With the ADS systems online again, the ship becoming a planet-destroying meteor is off the cards, but the possibility of death is still on the table. As you're heading back to Hammond, however, Daniels tells you she got a transmission from medical. It's Nicole. Oh my god, she's alive. She's telling survivors to go to medical because it's safe, and you're a survivor, so you obviously need to go over there because it's safe. Not because you bang buddies over there. When you get to medical, the place gets locked down. Then a doctor who isn't your sexy doctor girlfriend starts talking to you. You don't even need to see his face to know that this guy is 6 shades of naughty because he's practically salivating behind the microphone, says Nicole's busy and he'll deal with you shortly or some shit. He's been experimenting on people, claiming a unitologist would understand. Yeah, there's a religion on this ship called unitology. I assume the developers made this game under the assumption that you have a PhD in Dead Space lore because a lot of the stuff is sort of just there and not really explained, or maybe I'm dumb and it's probably that. The marker that was making people hallucinate and shit has a crowd of religious schmucks behind it that think it's some divine blessing. The doctor is one of them. He's experimenting on people, you know, normal person things, while you search for the source of Nicole's transmission. It wasn't actually Nicole, but a pre-recorded broadcast which then starts talking to you until you get stasisized by that doctor man. This is Dr. Callus Mercer. He's a dick, which is probably why his parents named him after those hard skin thingies that you get on your hands after lifting weights. Anyway, he waffles some shit, marker this, Nicole that, and leaves the room. Luckily, your stasis ends just as this jacked necromorph comes to attack you. Up until now, the chopping of limbs has been your only saving grace, but this guy just said f that and... You manage to escape back to the entrance to medical, but Mercer still has the place locked down, so you need to find his office to end it. It doesn't take very long, but with the jacked morph hunting you down, it's like 20 times more stressful. In his office, one of his patients is still alive, and you're like,
hold on, I can help you.
No, not me. You need to save Hydroponics.
Who's that, and why would they name their kid Hydroponics?
Are you dumb? The air's been poisoned. Her enzyme will work. She just needs liquid nitrogen.
Where can I find that?
I don't fucking know. It's a game, work it out. I'm gonna die now. Bleh.
So hydroponics is shitting on the air quality. You just need some liquid nitrogen from cryogenics. Mercer put down some poopy stinky gas to kill you, not knowing you've got a fucking oxygen tank in your suit. What an idiot. You turn on the aircon and go over to cryogenics, which just happens to be in the direction of where you first encountered the jacked morph. The liquid nitrogen is just lying on the ground and Mercer is there. He's like,
thanks for fixing the engines, nerd. Now I can go to Earth and wipe necromorph on everyone.
He's also annoyingly vague about what happened to Nicole. I won't be mad. Will someone just give me a straight fucking answer? Is she dead or not? I should probably mention the unitologists believe in a convergence event where everyone gets turned into necromorphs and assimilated into a sort of hive mind. It shouldn't really be called convergence though, more divergence, because you die. Anyway, you've got bigger problems. You're locked in a room with the jacked morph. For some reason, Mercer didn't lock the controls to cryostorage, so after removing this twat's limbs, you're able to just ice age him and go over to hydroponics. It's a great place. Daniel says,
there's a big fucking mess in food storage. It's probably your mum.
What the fuck? You make the enzyme and go to investigate, but are stopped by Elizabeth Cross. She's like, until she realizes you've made the enzyme. Food storage is locked and whatever's in there turned her team into wheezers, which are the things farting out the stinky air, but if you stab them with the enzyme, it might weaken the food storage beast so you can into space. That's basically all you do, run around hydroponics stabbing the fart morphs, occasionally getting attacked by the hentai monster. Then Cross unlocks food storage. She also asks you if you've seen her boyfriend Jacob, and unless he's been amongst the thousands of dead things you've dismembered, then the answer is most likely no. You go to food storage ready to eject the food storage behemoth into space, but the enzyme hasn't weakened it enough, so it's hanging on like the little poo particles on your your arse hair, so you have to personally escort this thing off the premises by chopping off its glowy bits that are basically just a shoot here to win sign. Cross says Jacob went to the mining deck to make an SOS beacon. It's been radio silence since then, which is horror game speak for he's fucking dead, probably. You head over to check on how it's going. Spoiler, it's not going like everything else before you get there. The launch tubes for the SOS beacon are sealed. You find an administrator rig to authorize the launch and go to find the beacon itself. That's when you find Nicole. Holy shit, she's actually alive. She knows where the beacon is and starts bippity bopping on the computer. Meanwhile, the resident necromorphs start coming out of every possible place. Kind of suspicious that her boyfriend is currently fighting for his life and she doesn't even turn around to check if he's alright, but we'll just blow past that. You tell her to come with, but she's got stuff she needs to do, then tells you to make us whole again. Swear that's the unitologist catchphrase, but apparently you don't pick up on that. Let's go get the beacon. Thank God that's over. Now somebody might be able to come and rescue us off this shit up. Why can't anything just work in this place? Yeah, so the beacon tube doesn't work. You have an idea of attaching it to an asteroid that the ship uses for mining. I don't know, I assume the developers ran out of ways to pad the story. This actually works, but wait, there's suddenly a lockdown. You'll be glad to know the jacked morph has defrosted and is back with a vengeance. Basically, there was no point in ice aging him because it did fuck all. You once again escape him. He's actually called the Hunter, and it's safe to say he lives up to his name because he won't leave you the fuck alone. Wait a second, the beacon is working, but the comms aren't. Remember that from the start of the game? Yeah, you have to fix that. As you're heading to fix it, Daniels is like,
a military ship has already responded to our SOS.
Wish girls responded to me this fast. They can't communicate with us while comms are out. You begin fixing it by connecting these things to other things, then the military ship manages to get a transmission through.
Hey, we heard you calling for help. We found one of your escape pods floating around out there. The guy inside looks like a contortionist. He's really flexible. He can bend his arms in all sorts of directions.
I'm getting space. Taco Bell. Who wants some?
Oh, I gotta go. The systems are doing the checks on the deck.
Yeah, so the military ship picked up your escape pod with Chen inside, but your signal isn't strong enough to respond to their broadcast because something is blocking an antenna. You go investigate and find that your mum has attached herself to the ship. Fuck's sake, I've already made one mum joke. Can you tell I'm running out of ideas? That thing from the food storage is still here. You just have to give him a little nudge off the ship and deploy the antenna.
Hey, this is Daniels from the Ishimura. I hope you guys didn't open the escape pod. Well? Did you open it?
Well, fuck. Hammond's like, what the fuck was that? Yeah, it was just our only way off this place. Crashing into the side of this place. Actually, it's not our only way off. Hammond has found an executive shuttle. It's actually been a while since I updated you on Hammond's whereabouts. After going into geostationary orbit, he went to the crew deck to find survivors or something. He instead found a crowd of unitologists worshipping the marker, but he's apparently found an executive shuttle. It just needs a singularity core. There's one on the military ship that's just penetrated our ship, so you and Hammond agreed to go look for it. Of course, the military ship's carrying weapons, specifically a nuke, and I think nukes and necromorphs go about as well together as alcohol and driving. So very well. What? I make YouTube videos. I'm clearly good at making bad life choices. On your way to get the nuke, you get a call from Dr. Kine. If you remember, he was the guy who told the captain that having a suicide-inducing relic on the ship might not be a good idea. He's like,
I was asked to study the marker.
You think I give a fuck?
But you're the main character. You need to return the marker to the planet.
Oh. No. You eject the nuke into space, which of course is being camped by the only necromorphs that can explode, and go look for the singularity core. Hammond tells you the military ship had that nuke because they were sent on a search and destroy mission. Basically, somebody knew about the Ishimura and came to deal with it. Very suspicious. But it doesn't matter, you reach the singularity core, then the ship goes into lockdown with Hammond trapped inside, and Chen shows up to attack him. The marker seems to be having some hallucinatory effects on you all because he thinks Chen is still normal. I mean, that's a face only a mother could love. So Hammond gets penetrated and pushes Chen into the singularity core, disintegrating both of them. Credit where credit's due, the fact that he was able to push that thing back while being stabbed in the heart is pretty chad. The lockdown ends and you take the singularity core, then escape the ship just as it's about to explode. You nearly get flung into space, but manage to grab onto an antenna and get back onto the Ishimura. Now you just need to get to the crew deck, or as I like to call it, the unitologist's fuck pit. Once again, you find Mercer. This time he's with the marker and Cross's boyfriend, who he kills in slow motion. Then the jacked morph crashes through, looking to bench press you or some shit. I don't know. They really need to switch up their tactic. We've already seen that this guy can't hurt you. In other news, the marker is making you hear voices and shit. Basically, you're losing your mind, similar to how I am also losing my mind making this video. Anyway, you need to destroy these tentacles that are gently caressing the door to the executive shuttle. Have you heard of this YouTuber called Northern Bob?
Oh yeah, I have.
What do you think of him? You end up finding Dr. Kine whilst destroying the tentacles. He's like, ooh, if you leave now, we're gonna die, acting like 90% of the ship isn't already dead. Essentially, when they took the marker from the planet, it pissed off the big juicy creature living down there. That's also the thing that's controlling all the necromorphs, so he thinks if you take the marker back using the shuttle, it'll stop the outbreak. I don't have any better ideas, so let's do that. Fuck it. You move the marker to the loader and put the singularity core into the shuttle. Looks to me like you're finally getting out of here. Me and my big mouth. The jacked morph is making one last attempt at killing you. Given that freezing him didn't work very well, you instead try the opposite and treat him like a sausage on a George Foreman grill. Finally, you don't have to deal with any more shit. If you thought things couldn't get any worse, the tentacle steals the marker from you like a dirty thief. The only silver lining is Mercer gets taken with it, so he's dead. I think. You go after the marker and manage to retrieve it. Whoever made these conveyor belts needs a raise because it's just about the only thing still working on this ship. Then you head to the hangar and attach the marker onto the shuttle. Daniels and Kine are on board, so now you just need to hop on and... Well, that's not good. Oh my god, plot twist. Daniels works for EarthGov. I haven't told you who they are because I'm not entirely sure. Going off the name, I want to say they're a government for Earth. Anyway, humans found a marker on Earth and reverse engineered it to make this red marker and decided to test it on Aegis 7. Now, Daniels has been sent here to sweep it under the rug, if you will. Daniels, we can talk about this.
No.
It's all good. Like an ex machina, Nicole appears and she's like, you know, those shuttles are remote controlled. We can just bring her back. Oh, right. Daniels uses an escape pod to get off the shuttle and Nicole is being perfectly normal. Now, I know you're most likely being influenced by the marker. That probably explains the Minecraft enchanting table appearing on all the screens, but I'm still going to call you an idiot for not realizing that your girlfriend is literally saying the same thing Mercer said, and you're perfectly okay with it. With the shuttle, you and Nicole go to the planet to drop off the marker. They were really trying to pad the story out here because you got to transport the marker through multiple rooms just fighting off necromorphs. What was like a 5-minute job turned into like an hour-long experience, but you get the marker back to where it belongs. Now we can go home. Ow, is this supposed to be painful? Putting the marker back disrupted the tethers that were stopping the big chunk of rock from falling onto the planet. You go to restart it, but Daniels appears holding Nicole at gunpoint. Oh my god. She plays that video of Nicole from the start, and in the video, Nicole commits suicide. She was dead the entire time. This person was actually Cross. The marker was influencing your mind. Anyway, Daniels kills Cross and goes to leave, but as she's about to get onto the shuttle, the big creature living in the planet uses her as a wipe. Despite this thing being the size of a skyscraper, it has a habit of flashing you its glowy bits, which you shoot, and it dies. But the big rock is still falling, so you run onto the shuttle and drive away. You get off the planet and contemplate life, I guess. I suppose you've had a bit of a tough day. Oh, also, Nicole found her way onto the ship with you.